guys, I'm Ragini,
Hi guys, I'm Simran.
and today we're going to talk about what we wore for our first interviews and some things that you should keep in mind while you're going for interviews. Fuck, I messed it up again.
Hi guys.
I'm Ragini.
And I'm Simran.
Today we're going to talk about what we wore for our first interviews ever.
And what you should wear for yours because we think we have considerable experience by now.
Right, and what you should also not wear. Some tips.
Right. Okay, so I think the first time we ever wore formals was in 11th grade.
Yes, for an MUN. Right.
Right. So MUNs are basically Model United Nations where people socialize but also unite. Right? So I remember I had to impress a crush. So I got this dress from Vero Moda which had orange ruffles and then it was a skirt at the bottom, but it was a dress.
So PG-13.
Yeah, it was because like by the end of it, my teacher ended up coming to me and she was like, "Listen, ruffles aren't formals," and I was like,
I think
"Mom."
she went something like this. Simran, beta apne kya pehna hai?
Because like everyone else was dressed very like boring and meh, and
Right. So yeah. So we were a little too judgy maybe, and like we were judging people for wearing jeans and a really boxy shirt
Very
for an
judgy.
MUN, and then on the other hand, I think we put in way too much effort in, trying to dress up for the occasion.
but
So-
I think we were appropriately dressed.
yeah, I mean, like a lot of people there also, I think it was in a college and we decided to, anyways. So, I remember wearing a black skirt, a plain black skirt with a powder blue shirt which had thin navy stripes on it, and the interesting detail on the shirt was on the sleeves. Both the sleeves had knots on them.
I
So,
remember that.
yeah, so simple, semi-formal, and at the same time just a dash of little detailing. So, right. And Simran, I remember you went to Noida for an interview and had quite an experience there. So,
Yeah, so I had gone to Sector 18
Right.
so I had to interview with like this media company, and this was a college placement, and so I wore this satin shirt and then this black formal skirt, and then I wore heels with it. Imagine, but they weren't like 6-inch heels; they were
Right.
2-inch heels.
right.
Except so the night before my printer stopped working and I didn't have my CV. So
That is a very good tip, guys.
Never-
Don't take CVs to your interviews.
on
Just
the
joke.
side note, keep your CV ready at least 2 days in advance.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll end up like me. Anyway, so I cleared the first round, but they needed the CV for the interview round. So then I realized that because my name starts with an S, I do have some time. So I searched where the nearest photocopy shop was, and then I took a rickshaw and in my skirt in Noida, I went to Sector 18, Shady Market, somewhere inside the lane, and got my CV printed. Came back in 15 minutes, but it was so scary because I was wearing a skirt, and then my skirt pulled up because I was also sitting on a rickshaw, and obviously, like, it's scary because people start staring, and let's just face it, sometimes Noida can't be safe, so
Right, especially for somebody who's not staying there, exploring
Yeah.
the place, and yeah, it was a new place for you, right?
right.
So I remember going for one of my college interviews, and this college in particular turned out to be where I did my undergraduation from. So I remember I walked in, and there was a line of students, and it felt like a very monochromatic black and white sort of scene where everybody was dressed in black trousers or black skirts and, white shirts.
That usually happens everywhere.
That does happen. I think that's the formal dress code always everywhere. But Ragini being Ragini, I decided to add a little bit of color to my outfit. So I ended up wearing a coral semi-formal shirt with black trousers, and on to top it all, I wore not olive green, chocolate, like a shade between olive green and chocolate brown, like a brownish greenish
Suede
bellies, which had a gold buckle in front. So they were. So it sounds
very extra.
it sounds too OTT, but I mean, if you were to just look at the look, it was still very minimal. So, imagine a plain coral top with plain black trousers, and okay, fine, I would have ditched the heels if I had a little more dressing sense back then, but
But we were also 17, 18 years old. So
right out of school, figuring out what you want to do.
But I still think that wearing coral at least breaks the monotony. I mean, everyone wears white to interviews.
Yeah. And what a coincidence. I mean, the Pantone color of 2019 is coral. So, yeah, that was fun. I mean, I really like that shade also. And I remember wearing very thin, small gold loops. They were really thin, like a little line with a black diamond in between. So I think that was my look, and I went inside and I also spoke about Pantone chip cards and Pantone color shades. That was also a topic of discussion during my interview, and yeah.
Yeah, but this brings us to what's appropriate for interviews. So
Right.
obviously,
So I think never. I mean, dress. It's always better to be on the safer side, especially for an interview. And I mean, you won't go for a, I don't know, like a morning ceremony wearing Manisha Arora, will you? With fluorescent colors and studs all over your garments. So similarly for
unless that's your enemy, then we give you our blessings. You can definitely do that.
So yeah, I think always whatever you're wearing, it should be it shouldn't be too stark it shouldn't be too much of a contrast. It shouldn't hurt the eye in terms of colors. Not too embellished with thread work or sequence work, or I think thread embroidery as a detailing looks really sophisticated. And
Also, like, get trousers.
yeah,
Proper trousers. Don't wear like jeggings or like
tights.
or like black jeans because it shows and doesn't look nice, because these are all casual and
Right,
not
absolutely.
interview appropriate.
Right. Also, I think a lot of times we are very lazy about, getting our trousers altered. So sometimes they fit well from the thighs, but by the time they fall down, and they reach your calves or ankles,
So always get them tailored.
always get them tailored.
Well fitted trousers look so much better than not well fitted
Yeah, I mean
trousers.
they're always very loose from the bottom, so I think an alteration or two would be, could come handy. Also, I think, of course, all your clothes should be very well ironed. They shouldn't be crushed or crinkled. And I think also what's very important is you should smell good. I mean, even if you're not smelling good, you shouldn't smell.
Yeah,
per
so
se.
get mints, handy mints that you can always pop in before the interview.
Yeah.
Carry your handy perfume. Also,
Yeah.
if you're a clumsy eater like me, you should avoid white, because if you know you'll end up getting stains, might as well wear something that doesn't show it.
Right. And if you're a person like me who likes to experiment with color, you can go for shades like coral, dusty pink, powder
Yellow.
blue. I think a yellow really works well. It adds, a very happy
Yeah.
sort of it's a happy color.
So don't be afraid to break the monotony.
Break the monotony, ditch black and white. Everybody's seen black and white, and especially we are both fashion students. So I think as fashion students, we would, we would want you to go out there and experiment a little, even if it's your interview outfit. Right.
And also don't wear open toe.
Oh yeah. Oh no, open-toed heels. Also, I think a lot of people end up wearing glossy heels, which are mostly for the night time. So maybe like a uh, patent leather heels, or just plain leather. Yeah. That would
But
be
that's
good.
it for the interview. You should smile when you go inside.
Walk
And
in with confidence. Yeah. A light smile, like you said.
also carry a pretty folder for your CV.
Exactly. I mean, a chipped. Oh my god. So I have an OCD for chipped nail polishes. chipped nail polishes look so bad. They can be such a turn off. So I think clean nails and
Also, I think there's a saying from some movie like chipped nail polishes means you're a hoe.
all right.
But that's a saying, no judging. But just saying that people can have a lot of assumptions about you if you have chipped nail polishes, just like this one. So,
Right. Yeah. And also I think there's some accessories like really big loops or chunky necklaces or a lot of stacked up bangles or bracelets. They're a big no.
yeah,
Um,
I think I'm going on way too long.
we'll edit it. And so guys, those are some of our tips for being prepared for an interview and not walking in with a very bright color or a stained t-shirt or chipped nails and all of that. And we had an interesting time sharing what we wore for our first interviews, and we would love for you to comment with what you wore to your first interview.
So if you like this video, you like, share and subscribe to our channel.
That'll be great.
And we'll be back next week.
See you soon guys. Bye.